technology patents are soaring in value. We're going to tell you why now. In fact, Shira Ovide is going to tell us why now from San Francisco. Shira, I understand that the value of an individual patent has gone up something like 50%, but my math might be a little bit wrong there. Am I right?
Well, I don't know about the percentage, but you're definitely right that the value of patents has just been skyrocketing. I think the eye-opener for a lot of people was last summer when Nortel, the bankrupt Canadian telecom company, sold 6,000 or so patents to a collection of tech companies, people like Apple and Microsoft, for more than $4.5 billion.
And that worked out to about $750,000 a patent, didn't it?
It did, and yesterday's purchase by Microsoft of a parcel of patents from AOL works out to more than $1 million per patent, either purchased or licensed. So you can see that the price tag keeps going up.
Peter, what do you make of this?
Well, there's a limited number of these, right? No one knows quite what they do. The idea is you stockpile these for defense against some sort of future lawsuit, at least in Microsoft's case. It seems like a tremendous waste of money, right? Overall, we could use that money to do things like buy Instagram or give people raises or, I don't know, homeless Wi-Fi hotspots or whatever. We could do something else with that money other than stockpile patents for technology we don't really use.
Shira, explain to us what is the logic behind this? What is going on? Because this is clearly a lot of money, and all these big tech companies are doing it.
That's right. Everybody's doing it, and you're right. It does seem like $1.1 billion. You could maybe spend it on an asset, right, like Instagram. But these companies, including Microsoft, feel like they need to keep these patents out of the hands of competitors so that you don't get sued. And lawsuits obviously are expensive, as are licensing fees for patents that are held by others. And that was a big motivator here, was Microsoft wanted to keep these patents away from people like Google or Facebook that could use those patents against Microsoft.
Yeah, some of the reporting, I think you mentioned this as well, Shira, was that Facebook is actually one of the folks who was bidding on the patents. There was some snarking on Twitter yesterday about how Facebook's gone ahead and bought an asset like Instagram, and Microsoft has spent that same amount of money on patents, but I think at a certain price, Facebook would have paid the same amount, or would have bought the same assets.
So that's right, and it's probably worth noting that Facebook also has been spending money on patents, right? They've gone out, licensed some from IBM. They're in the middle of this patent lawsuit with Yahoo. So, this is not just a big lumbering tech giant issue.
So it seems like there's a bit of an arms race going on here, but there's another thing, there's a wrinkle in this, is that patents expire. So this is sort of an evaporating asset in a way, right? Your patent doesn't last forever.
That's true. Patents don't last forever, and you do have to pay to keep them up. Then there's all kinds of fees associated with them. So it's a good point, but Microsoft made a bet. They thought there were hundreds of patents owned by Yahoo that could be used in legal cases against them, things that are the bedrock of things like email and video conferencing and web browsing technology and anti-spam. And, they're willing to make $1 billion bet not to have these patents used against them.
So sure, who has the next big pile of assets they can sell off? We're usually looking at companies that are in trouble and that have been around for a while. So who else fits that bill?
Well, we've seen, right, Kodak, Eastman Kodak has gone out and they've tried to sell their patents, not so successfully. The one that people point to all the time is Research in Motion, which owns BlackBerry, and people talk about that company being kind of sold for patents, or at least monetizing their patents in some kind of sale. I think people have thrown some cold water on that idea. But you can bet, particularly after yesterday, that there are lots of struggling companies out there who called their lawyers and said, are there patents we can sell or license in some way?
Or, maybe the furniture, the chairs or something like that. You can always sell those things, right? Okay, I'm only joking. Thank you very much. Shira Ovide of the Wall Street Journal. Check out that story on WSJ.com.